Now that we have created 3 different API requests, if I want to run them all together, I can run it with the help of the collection runner. So I simply need to click over here, and then I need to click on run. So as soon as I run it, it will actually going to open up our collection runner. It's a whole different interface. You're going to see all 3 requests over here, and then you can select your environment over here. All the environment shows up. You want to run this collection runner or QA environment or the production environment, how many iterations you want to give. You want to give some delay in between each iteration. Now right now we are just running the simple request, right? Simple API request. At times in API request we'll be uploading some images as well. We'll be validating the logins, right? And let's say I have written request in which I am uploading 10 to 15 images, right, at the same time, or maybe the iteration is something like that. So in between each request I want to give some delay. So the delay can be given over here in milliseconds. If I say 1000, this will be equal to 1 second, right? So in each request there will be a delay of 1 second. So log response for all requests. We want to log the responses for all the requests. Select the data. At times you have kept the data in Excel file or a CSV file. You want to get the data from that file. You can use this file. We're going to look at this example as well, right? And in case of Postman, the number of requests will be executed in a sequence, the way that we have given the request over here, right? So it will be executed in a sequence. It will not be executed parallelly. But at times we have hundreds of requests to be tested, and if we run it, then one by one all the requests will be executed. So we can run it in a parallel way as well, but that is not supported in Postman. That will be supported when we'll be working on the Rest Assured API, right? And we'll be using the TestNG framework. So for the time being, what I'm gonna do, I'll just gonna click on this runner to see the first iteration. We got a failure. Let's see what the failure is saying. Just let us go to the first iteration. So why we are getting this error, let's close this and let's go to our request. Let's make sure we have saved all this information, right? And then let's try to run it again. And let me run it as it is for the timing, and see, everything executed successfully. And you can see the response code over here is 200 okay, then over here 201 for the post that is created, and 208, right? And if you go to individual request, then you'll see a request URL. These are the request headers, right? Then you have request body, it's not applicable over here. Request header content type is this, and then the response you got is this, right? Same way, if you go to the post request, you'll have the request URL, the request header, the response body that you have provided, right? The request body, and in the response body, this API is actually not providing the response that the user is created. Normally it shows it, but here you can see 201 created, right? Same thing if I change the environment over here. If I select the environment as production, and let us give a delay of 1 milliseconds, and I'll run it again, you'll see the first one will run after 1 second, the second, then the third one, right? And if you go over here in the response body, you are getting a response like this, and this we actually did it on request response as well, so it has actually created that user over there as well, right? But yes, we are getting the response body in the post request, whatever data that we have actually created, right? Now over here we are seeing that 0 pass 0 fail. This is because we have not yet started creating test cases, right? This is just the execution that we have done. Test cases means that we will be validating our result, right? We can validate whether the request that we have sent and the response we are getting is 200 okay or not, right? Whether a user is created successfully or not, right? So we still have to create our test cases, and then it will gonna show us pass or fail over here. So we need to add some validations, and those validations will be added when you will be writing your test cases over here. All right. So as I said, that test cases can be based on your status code as well. But before that, you need to understand the status code, why we are getting 200, why we are getting 201. So if you go over here to Google and just type, let's say, REST API status code. So I'll go to this link, this URL. So you'll see that the categories are something like 1 and then 2, then 3 and then 4 and then 5, right? And what all these things, there are descriptions as well available which can go through, but if you go down you'll see 200. Okay, that means that it indicates the REST API is successfully carried out, right? Whatever actions that has to be performed. Then there are other status codes as well. 201 means created, 202 means accepted, 204 means no content was shown, right? Then there are other codes for bad request is 400, unauthorized if in case you are validating with a username and password which does not have access, then you will get 401. 404 will be when the API is not found, right? Or the request is not processed. If the server is down, you get 500. If anything that is not implemented, you'll get 501. So these are a couple of requests that you can go through, and you can even validate. If let's say you are hitting an API, you get a response as successful, you can add an assertion over there. Assertion is something like add a validation point, whether the expected result is equal to the actual result. The actual result you got from the API response, and the actual you can provide that actual should be 200. Okay, right? So this is how the validations can be done, which we will be looking at in our upcoming lectures, and then the results will gonna show pass or fail over here.